It was my best friend's birthday party today. We had so much fun with the group that we didn't leave the place until midnight. The laughter, the noise, it was all so lively and joyful. But when I left my friends and returned to the area near my apartment, standing on that dimly lit street, I couldn't help but feel a chill run down my spine. I had to return to my cold apartment and face the darkness and silence all alone. Initially, I never had any particular fear of living alone, but ever since I moved here, that sense of fear had grown stronger within me. Especially after I heard some rumors that a murder had occurred in this very building. A lonely girl was killed right inside her apartment. What was even more terrifying was that no one knew who the killer was. I should have paid more attention. If I'd known, I would have asked a friend to move in with me. The streetlights along the road were flickering or broken, leaving the path in near total darkness. I took out my phone to use as a flashlight, its light barely cutting through the shadows. I tried not to think too much about it and kept walking, aiming for the apartment. That's when I saw it. A shadow appeared behind me. I froze, my blood running cold. I slowly turned my head and saw a tall man standing just a few meters away. His face was hidden under a hat and a mask, leaving only his eyes visible, cold and dark eyes that seemed to look straight through me. My heart skipped a beat. I turned back around, my footsteps quickening. But to my horror, the man began walking faster too. His footsteps were heavy, deliberate, and they matched the rhythm of my quickened pace. The air around me felt thick, suffocating. I had almost reached the apartment building when I couldn't take it anymore. My legs moved faster, and I sprinted the final stretch. The man's footsteps behind me grew louder and heavier. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, as if it would burst at any moment. I rushed into the dimly lit lobby, the cold, pale light above me only making the space feel even more sterile and oppressive. The elevator doors were shut with a sign saying, "Out of service." My stomach dropped. The footsteps from behind me didn't stop. I couldn't wait any longer. I dashed toward the staircase, glancing back one last time. The man's footsteps were close now, very close. I bolted up the stairs, my breath shallow, my mind racing. 1 floor, 2 floors, 3 floors. Each step I took, the sound of his footsteps grew louder. It was like he was right there, behind me, following me. Finally, I reached my apartment door. My hands shook as I fumbled for my keys. I was almost there, just one more last step to open the door. As I was pulling the key out of my pocket, I heard it. A woman's laugh. High-pitched, light, almost playful. It came from behind the door. The one that should have been empty. My breath caught in my throat. There was no one else here. I should have been alone. But that laugh, it was too real, too close. I stood frozen for a moment, my fingers still gripping the key. And then, to my horror, the door creaked open on its own. I didn't dare to move. My pulse hammered in my ears. The dark space beyond the door seemed to swallow the dim light from the hallway. I couldn't see anything, but the laughter kept going, echoing in the empty apartment. I stood frozen at the door, unable to move. Behind me, in the stairwell, the man's footsteps finally ceased. In that moment, the air grew unnervingly heavy, as though every sound had vanished. All that remained was the slow creak of the door opening, accompanied by a faint, eerie laugh that seemed to linger in the stillness. A coldness seeped into the air, creeping around me, adding to the dread that was already choking me. What should I do?